Congratulations! You are at the right place at the right time to start your day with a lightning bolt of energy. Most news programming, morning talk shows, or other podcasts are not launching you into your day or accessing even a fraction of your greatness and potential. If you want more money in less time with more magic, and if you want to find what works to scale your sales and business with the actionable formula of formulas, then the Unblinded Huddle is the #1 way to start your day with an infusion of integrity-based human influence. With your host, Sean Callagy and the Unblinded team, and the entire Unblinded movement.
What is going on, Unblinded, and welcome to our morning huddle. It is Why Wednesday. It took me a second to remember what day it was because we are totally focused on communicating, ecosystem merging, and growing. And what I'm present to right now is another start to another fabulous day. And for everyone that's here, maybe for the first time, or maybe you've been here for months, we've done close to 400 of these already. I want you to know the level of attention, focus, and energy that this team places to all of you, our ecosystem. Every single thing that we do is designed to have you be unblinded, make more money and less time with more magic through the process of increasing your sales and growing your business. Because we realize if you're here and you're looking to learn influence, you're looking to have that financial freedom, to have that time freedom, to have that magic freedom, and you've trusted us with those goals. We are responsible for those goals. So I'm excited to be kicking in, having some fun, jumping in here, because there's a lot happening. There is a lot happening. I'm sure there's a role play today. Jared, I'd love for you to chime in. My apologies for not having the names. And also, we have our Business Accelerator Week 2 Friday. So Jared, what's up?
Yes, Fernando. There is a lot happening, everybody. Hello, hello. Please share in the chat. What are you present to right now? What are you present to right now? And I am present to a no joke, real, raw role play, Fernando. This one is a insane amount of Zeus energy, like Zeus on Zeus. And this is coming from Zeus. So this is a Zeus-filled Real Raw today. Kudos to David Gonzalez for getting absolutely extraordinary entrepreneurs present. We have Gallant Deal coming on. Gallant has been in 30 Under 30 3 separate times and has grown some of the world's largest entrepreneurial communities on Facebook. One of his groups has hundreds of thousands of people. By the time he was 23, he had placed dozens of products into retail stores around the globe, and he's an award-winning serial entrepreneur as well. He'll be met with Pedro Ado. Pedro is a 3-time 2 Comma Club Award winner, best-selling author, and the 100X founder. If you don't know what the 2 Comma Club Award is, that is an award through ClickFunnels. And that means that one of your funnels does over 7 figures. He also has the 100X podcast and has over 100,000 downloads and is the #1 community for Kingdom entrepreneurs. These men are coming to play. So if you want to see like true salesmanship with some massive Zeus energy, that's what this Real Raw looks like, Fernando. There will be some lightning bolts, maybe some thunderbolts too, because that's a new thing now. And it's going to be an absolute blast. Fernando, what are your thoughts on Zeus this afternoon?
Well, coming from Yellin himself, I am feeling like extra Zeused up. So I am ready for decision because Zeus isn't confrontation. It isn't anything but decision making, which Jared, you do so well. And obviously based on the records that we just, and bios we just heard, they have the ability to choose as well. So as we gear up for Mr. Callagy to sit in his new sweatshirt, I have a beautiful question from Dimple that maybe Jared, you and I can go back and forth with. Yes. So Dimple is asking that people are asking her, how is 10 by 10 different than networking? So I'm going to give a short answer. Jared, you're going to add to it. Sean's going to jump on and like take it home. It is like the graduation of networking, and how it's different is that we're actually going deep. We're not going wide. We will go wide eventually. Networking is surface level, transactional, where 10 by 10 is deep and narrow, and there's like no strings attached. Like it's total freedom. It's not like referral per referral. It's like, I'm here to help you build your ecosystem. If you can find someone else on the planet who's going to commit as much as I will to helping you build your 10, go find them and maybe draft them.
Hey, Fernando, Thank you,
what's happening,
guys. I've been here, been listening the whole time. So just to be clear, Fernando's on track. We just did this in the mastery call. And so just drop it in this. The difference between networking and ecosystem merging is the difference between saying hi and being married. The difference between networking and ecosystem merging is saying hi, can I buy you a drink, and being married.
Cool.
Okay? It's agreement. It's mutuality and leverage. So this was not understood on the call beforehand. So let's unmute Michelle Whitman, please. Michelle, you out there? And unmute Jay Levine. So it's Michelle and Jay.
Michelle is not here.
Okay. Let's unmute Jay Levine. Jay's there.
Cool. Jay is here. Jay is unmuted.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, I'm here. Do you know that the mastery call was still going on? You inspired us and we were all still talking, but I clicked over.
Yeah. So Jay, tell me why you were inspired in a breakthrough that you had 5 minutes ago.
Because I was looking at this 10 by 10, not wrong, but I found another way to look at it, multiple outcomes. So I'm a real estate agent, as you all probably know. And the first thing I think of is like, okay, clients, listings, how do we get more listings? That was what my smaller mind was thinking at the time. Although we never focus on listings. We're all about people before profit. That's our whole motto. So this should be no different. So lining up these 10 by 10 is not about getting listings for myself, but it's about putting together the team that will not only social proof, but leading this team of 100 is way better than, advertising to 5,000 people and saying I'm a real estate agent, I have listings, but actually merging these ecosystems, like for instance, coaching and trainer, social marketing, lawyers, contractors, stagers, like these people within an ecosystem, not only will they help benefit each other, but when we do events together, whether they be virtual or whether they be live, that is going to introduce my people are going to now be introduced to their people. I'm never going to be able to put myself in front of that many people without merging ecosystems like this, because it all gives us that equal opportunity. So it was like, stop looking for the listings, look for the team, and the listings will come. Because now if you're an agent in Bergen County and you're like, wow, look at what Jay Levine and Team Levine is doing in their market, like I have to be a part of their team, their organization, they're going to come with listings and business. So that's all going to come. So I was looking at building, like myself, but I really need to focus on building that team because everything else will come after.
Yeah. So pause, Jay, and let's let Dimple come live too for a second. Right. So by the way, what are we doing on the huddle? Every single day.
Michelle
helping
live, Sean. Michelle Whitman is here.
Hey, Michelle. Michelle, how are you?
Good morning. Great.
Okay. What was your breakthrough, your 2-sentence breakthrough this morning about what ecosystem merging means and the 10 by 10 means? The breakthrough has just happened.
Oh, so I want to say my breakthrough is that anyone that I could bring together that will add value, that I could add value to them and they could add value in return, it was a different way of looking at it. And that by default is an ecosystem merger. So it could be that I'm able to merge with Jay by having him come and do an event with me. And if he brings a bunch and I'm bringing a bunch of people who could additionally add value, then it's a win for all of us.
Yeah. So listen, ready? So stay with me, Michelle, Jay, and Dimple. Here's the answer. This is the unblinded 1-sentence answer. Networking is random. Ecosystem merging is fixed agreements and accountability. Networking is random. Ecosystem merging is fixed agreements and accountability. Like this. I ran practice master events and have collected $400 million on behalf of medical providers because I understood this concept. Here's where my business started. Just follow this. Networking. Hi, I'm in a group of doctors in a big room. I could probably help you collect money from insurance companies. Would you like to be my client? Right? Randomized conversation, getting there. Hoping I meet a doctor, hoping it's the right type of doctor. It is random. It is effing crazy. It's nuts, right? It's crazy. It is the difference between, well, I don't want to do an analogy. Let me just go more specifically. It is random and nuts and a waste of time and energy. So people are like, oh my God, like building this thing, it's so exhausting. Ask Rob Gill, he went from 8 meetings to 175. But here's how I did it in Practice Mastery. So instead of me saying, okay, I'm going to randomly walk into spaces, I said, I am going to teach people things. So I'm going to hold an event called Practice Mastery. And then I made a choice. I could have done it all by myself and attempted to market it, publish it, spend money, get to people, or do what I did. Which, by the way, is exactly what the 10 by 10 is. So what I did was, and I have 25 different examples of this in all the different divisions of my life and businesses. So instead I said, hey, here's what I'll do. I'll get I'll merge ecosystems and have ecosystem partners, AKA 10 by 10s. And one of those people's name was Mark. And Mark sold marketing consulting services. He was an ecosystem broker to doctors. So he wanted to meet new doctors, right? And his buddy, Brian, and the two of them were randomly networking before they met me. Brian, right, worked in an interoperative monitoring company. So what Brian did was Brian's company monitored surgeries for doctors. The best clients that I could have in the medical space are neurosurgeons and orthopedic surgeons. That's exactly who Brian wanted to meet and who Brian knew. And those were also some of the best clients for Mark overall. So just stay with me. So the deal was very simple. I bring 5 medical practices. Brian, you bring 5 medical practices. Mark, you bring 5 medical practices. So when I held an event, there were 15 practices. 5 I knew, building deeper relationships with my client base. 5 and 10 I didn't know. It's that simple. And by the way, with respect and love, I'm going to make you a bet that is not what you're doing in your life. And if you are, you don't have the right calls to action set up. And that's how I just built and scaled my business. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. And then you find more complex and interesting ways to do that. And I said on the huddle this morning, so let that land. Just let that point land and be absorbed. So Dimple, when somebody says to you, well, what's the difference? No. I am going to bring some, you're going to bring some, is one example of an ecosystem merger. It's one. It's the most basic and efficient. So you should be looking for the people, like I found Mark and Brian, who wanted to meet the same people that I did, and we were non-competitive. Okay? Now that's its most basic, but then it begins to become more interesting, dynamic, and exponential. But does that land so far for you, Michelle Whitman? Does that land?
Oh my gosh, it's incredible. Yeah, and I'm gonna go so far just to say that along with the fixed agreement and accountability, I would add like intention. There's intention around that. And there's integrity around it. It's amazing. It's life-changing.
Yeah, it's a business partnership. It's not, hey, it's a business partnership. It's not random.
John, Dimple's on here too, by the way. Dimple's on here too.
Dimple, is that landing for you?
It absolutely does. Thank you, Sean. My question, because I completely understand myself the differences between networking and ecosystem merging. My challenge has been explaining that, and it's my challenge, and this is where I'm I'm asking for help. In explaining that to people who are not familiar with the unblinded language, it concisely and in a way that is effective and lands for them, because I know what value this brings, and it's not about me or my business. It's about everybody winning. It's about everybody winning. So
So on Friday, Dimple, on Friday we'll explain that more in the second module. But its quickest version is, ready? Sir, ma'am, that's saying networking, great. Sir, ma'am, how many current new sales meetings are you having a month? That's the first question you should ask them, Dimple. How many new sales meetings do you have per month? The second question you should ask is, and what is your optimal plan right now to change that number? What do you want it to be? And what is your plan to change that number? And why would you, right? And then it becomes, why would you ever do it randomly as opposed to intentionally? And that should open the listening to then say, what ecosystem merging means is business partnerships. It's what Tony Robbins, it's what Keith Cunningham does with Tony Robbins. So in their deal, I don't know the terms exactly, but my hallucination is another form of ecosystem merging, AKA business partnership, because Keith Cunningham doesn't bring 5 and Tony brings 5. Tony brings all the people through other ecosystem partnerships. I was on a module last night with Gil Gulanos. He's bringing people from Russia, right? So now it's where we start to get into the more creative elements of ecosystem merging. So Gil and Tony have a relationship. So Gil brings people. He makes money for bringing people. I'm not revealing anything confidential. This was on the module last night. So Gil brings people, right? Gil makes money. Now, so Tony has built the ecosystem so he can fill the room. Keith doesn't want to fill the room, is not interested. He just comes and adds value that's free, a part of what you pay for business mastery, teaches people things, and Keith's incentive to do that, his contribution to the ecosystem, his added value, is that he gets to do that and then sell, and people agree, and then Tony makes a part of that money. So ecosystem mergers are about the creativity of how you add value to one another. Dimple, as you know, and other people know, I said in the mastery call this morning, I am adding value to the Tony world, and I'm merged ecosystems. There's friction in it because I can't just do whatever I want. I can't just say, hey, come buy my program. But what I can do, so there is a merged ecosystem though, and the deal is, Sean, get up on stage and add massive value to this room, energetically, emotionally, and be the representation of why people should do Platinum Partnership. And as long, this is not said, but this is the implicit agreement, right? As long as you're doing a great job of that and lots of people are signing up for Platinum Partnership, you will continue to stand up there.
Right.
And what I get for it is I get massive amounts of people wanting to merge ecosystems with me. So I get value of lots of folks like all over the place wanting to merge ecosystems and do things with me, which is great for my ecosystem. So at its simplest, I'll repeat it, right? To answer Dimple's question is we're opening access to the idea that ecosystem merging, the way, it's a very simple formula. We want disposable income. The step before disposable income, there's 4 things. Step 4 is disposable income. The step before that, step 3 is sales. The step before that, step 2 are sales meetings. The step before that is ecosystem merging. Watch this, everybody. You can consider ecosystem merging to include paying for advertising. That is an ecosystem. It's a business agreement. I think it's not great, but if you pay for advertising in your local, regional, or national, or world, global thing on Facebook, in a newspaper, in a magazine, what you're saying is, I'm going to invest this money, and in return, I'm going to get sales meetings, right? So what we're saying is, instead of doing that, you create more efficiency in what you spend to create a sales meeting. There's 3 things you could spend to get a sales meeting, or in combination: money, time, and energy. Money, time, energy. Ecosystem merging, in my book, without a doubt, for most people, it may not be if you want to sell Nike sneakers to the mass planet, but if you're selling Dimple's Incredible Services, if you're selling your legal services, accounting services, yourself as a speaker, ecosystem merging, building your 10 by 10 is the cheapest in terms of time, money, and energy. Said differently, I had a company that said, run Facebook ads. We will put 1,500 people in the room, guaranteed. We had 6 people sign up. We merged ecosystems with Adam, Jared, and Fernando and had over 1,500 people in 45 days.
Yes. Yes. Sean.
Time. Yes.
It's Rob Gill. Can I add value?
Yeah. Go, brother.
I hear thunderbolts, Zeus all over the place, and I love the energy and I love the passion, and I just wanted to just take a quick action point of what happened with us regarding.
Yeah.
I was on a call last night.
Dude, no story. Just drill into it. Just say, boom. No story. No story. Just say what happened.
Yeah.
Nope. I don't want to know you're on with Brandon. Just say the points. Go.
Merging ecosystem was about relationship capital. Relationship capital led to a call last night where I was on the phone with a guy that has 7 million subscribers. I'm a guy that grew up in Bayonne, and this guy runs a company called the Piano Guys. And there's 7 million subscribers because of the relationship capital. This is someone that we could bring into the fold. This does not happen without proper ecosystem mergers. That's just one shining example, but it's the value of what could be given to somebody with no expectation. And the byproduct on the 10 by 10, from my standpoint, is that you're able to create your own world within the space of serving and contributing, and what that looks like in the overall picture, where there's no stress of having to refer back and forth, just an open forum where everyone's guard is down and the communication is crisp.
Yeah, and Rob, stay with me. And here's the crazy part, and I'm going to put myself first, right? I am not currently running practice mastery events, right? And that's insane. But part of, and that's a longer conversation for like not holding my own team accountable. So I'm not eating my own cooking. It's just ridiculous. And we're still making beautiful money in that business and serving people massively. But it's just ridiculous that we're not. The 10 by 10 is exactly what I'm telling my team to do. Here's what I'm telling my healthcare recovery team to do. Because they're like, what's this 10 by 10? I'm like, are you effing kidding me? It's practice mastery all over again. Your 10 is the same people that want to meet the doctors, and then you're going to put them on a Real Raw Open, and we'll do a Real Raw Open with like marketing people for doctors, billing people who have to deal with insurance companies. That's the Real Raw Open you're going to do, and it's just like practice mastery, except we don't have to drive, pay for dinner at a steak at Capitol Grill. We do it online, and because we've created the hack of the Real Raw, we create a massive disruption, and we do it much more efficiently. And then we have complimentary meetings. So Rob, similarly, so I put myself there first. I'm going to put Rob out there. Rob has several beautiful ecosystem mergers because he followed this coaching. It took his sales meetings from 8 to 175. And then he got so busy serving all these beautiful people and drowning in sales meetings, he stopped merging new ecosystems. It dropped out of his time blocking, and therefore he didn't just rinse and repeat 7 more times, which would just blow the roof off of the roof off. So this is about rinse and repeat. The 10 is a specific number because you can handle 10. That's why it's there. Yeah. Rob, does that make sense to you? Do you agree with what I just said about you?
I agree with what you said. There's one distinction I want to create. The model that I did with you and Chris on other models where I was trying to merge ecosystems, I did not do. So yes, I was grounded, but as I tried to do new ecosystem mergers, I got out of the formula from the one piece that really drew me, you and Chris together. I am now back into that times, let's say 6 right now. And I think that it's about making, for me, Rob Gill, talking about disruption and hack, I'm telling the whole story in the financial services industry, and I'm making everybody a partner, even without a license. If you make people partners without a license, it becomes a game changer, especially when you utilize the formula. Period. End of story. Drop the mic.
So what Rob Gill is saying is he's created in his industry a legal and ethical, with the highest level of people doing it, model to merge ecosystems with his company and make money doing it. Basically, he's becoming the same dynamic we talked about, like Tony and Keith Cunningham as an example, or Tony and whomever gets on stage and sells a program. Rob now has that model where Rob can partner with people who make money related to the beautiful ecosystems they've created, helping people financially. So that's another, a little bit more than, hey, you bring 5, I bring 5. That's like the next level up of how to have an ecosystem merger, as we talked about with the Tony Robbins or an Oprah Winfrey, right? Oprah Winfrey has ecosystem partnerships with the people who run TV commercials on her show. Those are her ecosystem partners. Howard Stern, the most successful radio person of all time, had to make a decision at one point because some of his ecosystem partners, the sponsors for his show, said, oh, I don't like your content. I am breaking up our ecosystem partnership. And he said, go ahead, because I'll replace your ass, and I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with his content, but I'm telling you what he did, and it was a great business decision. I don't know if we like his integrity, his morality, it's a different question, but it was certainly incredibly effective because he said, I'm not changing my content. So you can go to somebody else, but I'm going to build the most powerful radio presence in the history of radio. Stay with me or not, your call. Some left, others didn't. Howard Stern is worth $600 million today because he understood the power of his heroic, unique identity, or maybe his anti-heroic, unique identity. That's his own complicated story, right? And ecosystem merging. And that's what it was. So Dimple, back to you for a second. Rob, awesome jump in. Thank you. Dimple, what is, has this helped, or how much is it, like, how has this helped or not?
So what's present for me right now, Sean, is that I'm self-evaluating my conversations that I've had over the past, well, it was yesterday actually. And what I realized was that the question wasn't, the reason I was being asked the questions I was like, so how much time will this take of mine? What is the accountability? What's my responsibility? Those were the questions I was being asked. My understanding of ecosystem merging and the 10 by 10, I believe to be super clear. I understand the value. My self-evaluation was that I didn't follow the formula in influencing those people. So it's a really massive learning curve for me to understand that actually, if you follow the formula, you don't get asked those kind of questions because you're meeting their pain and you understand their strategy.
Absolutely. Drop the mic, Dimple. And when you get to objections, we ask questions into objections. Rewatch the 30-day module, rewatch the 6-month module on agreement formation, asking questions effectively. If we're in the formula, this works. And I'm going to give you one more part of the formula. The formula equals practice. Beautiful job, Dimple, practicing. Have 30 of these conversations, and by the 30th, you will be absolutely unbelievable. If you're having the conversations, this is the last thing I'm saying, and kick it to Jared or Fernando and Jared for finals. If you're having these conversations and you're having them so you can figure out, I'm not saying Dimple was doing this, I know she wasn't, but if you are having the conversations to figure out, does this really work or not? And you're seeking the validation from the clueless people, the beautiful soul, clueless people in complete darkness and ignorance that you're talking to, and you're seeking their validation from whether they say yes or not, you are grossly confused. and you will stay blinded. I built everything I built in the face of everybody telling me I was nuts, all the way to going from broke, $100,000 in debt, to 2 years later buying my beach house and rolling up money into tech stocks and the whole thing, losing $250,000 cash that I had accumulated, plus buying a beach house and my primary residence, because we hit the collapse of 2000-ish, and like that all happened. But all that was happening because I merged ecosystems. And here's the crazy drop the mic part. It was really just two, not 10 merged ecosystems. And I was drowning in business and scaling to hire 40 people.
Wow.
So I will pause there. So Dimple, Michelle, Jay, Rob, this is what it looks like, because you all contributed massively today. This is what it looks like. And soon it's you having these conversations with your 10 and your 100. And that process is alive and has begun. And you will have, I'm not telling you you'll become Oprah by doing this. I am telling you that if you want to make $2 million a year, you want to have a beach house, all those things, and you follow the formula and build your 10 by 10, and it's like you leading a 10 and leading 100, and you do your homework, there's no way in 2 years from now, I'll go like wide and broad, you follow consistently, and you get sucked back into which quote should I post on my social media today? And let me see what I could do in like my Google AdWords. As long as you don't get sucked back into those vortexes, or somebody's like, stop doing all that and just write your book. I don't have a book. And I'm looking, peripherally, you can see the Atlantic Ocean and watch the sun rise today as I bounce back and forth between my 2 beach houses, just so I could shift energy and feel better in the 12 bedrooms that are sitting here. And I don't say that in a Grant Cardone, look what I have style. I say that while I accumulated those assets, which were dreams of mine, have beautiful legacy with my family, and coached 1,000 of my kids' games, 1,000 of their games, took 3 months at a time off and lived that life because it was my dream. You can have your dream. I can't promise you'll be Tony Robbins or Oprah or Bruce Springsteen. That I cannot promise. I can promise you. You want a second home? You want a third home? You want to have financial freedom to make choices and go on beautiful trips and take your family and people? It is through a 10 by 10 and understanding and mastering the formula. Jared, what's up?
What energy did Sean bring today in the chat? Freaking off the charts, Sean. Amazing. Everybody, thank you for your contribution. Let's get after it. I already announced the Real Raw, but just to say it once again, Zeus on Zeus, lightning on lightning, thunder on thunder. We have Galen Dill showing up, award-winning serial entrepreneur and business consultant, and Pedro Adao, 3-time 2 Comma Club winner, best-selling author, and 100X founder. These 2 gentlemen know how to sell. They've made a ton of money because of their ability to sell, and they are showing up ready and raring to go on the Real Raw role play. In addition to that, make sure, if you have not done so already, that you are registered at www.unblindedbusinessaccelerator.com, unblindedbusinessaccelerator.com. If you missed the first week, you are not behind, because you can go at your own pace. The first week is loaded. It is transcribed. All of the resources are present for you to use. So go through and watch that first module. The second module will air live for those who want to join us on Friday, May 15th at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you sign up at unblindedbusinessaccelerator.com. We will be sending out reminders about Friday with the location information. But if you've already signed up at unblindedbusinessaccelerator.com, right when you log in, you will see the Zoom link inside of this course, which is where we will meet on Friday for the live experience, where we will talk about your multi-channel communication plan, a true process to get people to say yes to be in your 10 by 10. Back to you, Sean, for final.
This is what the huddle looks like going forward. It's here to serve you. It's here what it's done to do, right? It's here to serve you, teach you the process, self and influence mastery you need. This is what it's about. And by the way, comment in this. What can we do more in teaching you about 10 by 10, the 100, influence mastery, the formula? Put in the chat, what do you need to learn more of? Put your question so we can keep it accelerating rapidly. Fernando, just 10 seconds. Any breakthroughs for you today?
I finally understood the entire multidimensional of why you were doing practice mastery. I understood it, and today that level grew.
Awesome. Listen, have a beautiful day. Go have more conversations in the formula, helping people see what they don't see to rocket and accelerate their money, time, and magic by building their 10 by 10 with you. It is business partnership, ecosystem merging, and make sure that you like and love the people you're going to be working with. Have a beautiful day. Thanks.
Now it's time to break through and crush fear and distortion. What is the one zone action step that will help you most today to make more money in less time and with more magic, and contribute value to the Unblinded ecosystem? After you crush it, then head over to our private Facebook community at www.unblindedmovement.com to share your big win for the day. If you feel great about the Unblinded Huddle, please share your win for today and any questions you may have for us, along with a 5-star review so we can reach more like-minded people like you. And if you have not already subscribed, please visit www.unblindedhuddle.com to be part of our live ecosystem audience for each morning huddle so that we can help you see what you don't see about the fun, excitement, and magic of exponentially growing your sales.